Hello and welcome, dear friends, to this short episode where I'm going to share with you my 5 tips on how to start Transport Fever and have a steady flow of income. Also, how to grow your business in Fever, obviously, because I'm not qualified to give you advice on how to grow your business in real life. And for this short demonstration, I have choose one of the Russian maps because my series on the channel I have at the moment, it's called Eastern European with Soviet vehicles mostly. So I have decided to share this map with the other. I mean, it's not the other series that I'm having. It's just I wanted to have a Russian map, and I could find a couple of them. I took the St. Petersburg map. That one is not working for me for some reason, which I do not want to get into details at the moment. And this is the Moscow plains, if I'm not mistaken, but the only version I have is with Russian names, so I'm sorry, I would not even try to pronounce these names because it is out of my league. I can't do any of these Russian alphabet. So with this in mind, let's start the demonstration. So what I normally do, I go for a quite big city, but on this map there are bigger cities, but I believe this resembles like real random map in the game, where if you get a random map in the game, you will find that most of the big towns are around 300-400 population. So I'm gonna start with this town, which I'm gonna rename him, let's say, because I have in my other series Rezev, and I'm gonna rename him Rezev. So I will what I normally do, although I don't make money with this. First of all, I need to have a quick look at the town, see what's the layout on it, where's the industrial, where's the residential and commercial also, because all these 300 people in Rezev, they will need to be transported somewhere. So first of all, I'm gonna start with placing a road depot, and what I normally do, I place them in the industrial area. And second of all, I will go for buses. So I don't know what happened with my Soviet stops. Drop off point for cargo, no. So I'm gonna start in mind, and this is food delivery. So what I will do, because at some point in here there will be a rail station, so I'm gonna start this way. Come on, give me a curb, bigger streets, and then come down here, boom. And also get ready for the train station, and I'm gonna do this one with 2 tracks, and you will go there, boom, happy days. And I will lay the tracks. No, you know what, I'm gonna bulldoze this. And so yes, the first tip would be to do, I forgot about this, I'm sorry, to do local buses. And in order to do that, all the local buses must bring passengers to the train station. So I'm normally placing one of these big stations in here, because it will be like a hub in there. So what I normally do, I do like a circular line around the town, and I will try to get as much people as I can from this line. So let me start with couple of buses. The year is 1920. I don't know what's happening, but I'm gonna buy the stock ones. I do have the vehicles on, but I don't know if I have anything that early. So as I mentioned, the first tip is to start with local buses. What's going on in here? And don't do that, never ever again. So never do that. I am used to traffic on the other side of the road. I am used to traffic on the other side of the road, I'm sorry. And I gotta redo all of this. So this is not a very good start, but believe me, I am pretty confident that this will work. So these two stations are way too close. I'm gonna do just one in there, and let me delete every single one of them and redo the line. So we start over there, then we go down here, back here, we go for this one and then for this one, and then obviously back to the train station. So I'm gonna unpause the game and I will let the buses to do their thing. I'm gonna speed up the time a little bit. So yeah, this is one of my first tips. So start with the local buses, get a big town where you want to focus, and start with the local buses. You'll ferry passengers around the town. The second one, I'm transporting passengers between cities, so I'll pick the second city and I will kind of improve it a bit with the road, so I will let him expand. And I will do the same in this one. I will get local buses, but I mean, they will, as I mentioned earlier, all my buses, they will have to come in the terminal, and the terminal is basically the rail station, so everything must come to the rail station. In order to do that, I gotta redo this road in here. Another tip I wanted to make is, I wanted to give you, so the second tip is to pay very much attention to costs, expenses, and be as efficient as you can in this. Do not do what I'm doing here, trying to rebuild stuff on the expensive part of the game, because it will bankrupt you. But for the design purposes, I will allow this to happen only in this town. I will not do anything else for design purposes. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm going to place a road depot in here. I will pick one of the big passenger stations, bus and tram and whatever. I'm gonna do it as close as I can to the railway so they can come in here. I do not, yeah, good. So I think this game will be played only with stock vehicles, as I do have the mods installed, but they are very expensive and I don't think I want to use them. And for this reason, I think I didn't even select them at the beginning. I can't remember exactly what I've done, but you see, so this is 42,000, roughly 42.2 thousand to buy, and then it runs at 7.03 running costs per year, and it does 8 passengers. So this is one of the cheap ones and kind of good ones, because it does 8 passengers. This one is 6, this one is 5, this one is out of the question because the year is 1920, but it's the most, I mean, it's the most expensive one, but also it does a good speed, 25 kilometers an hour. So you gotta balance this, you know. It's up to you what you want to do. If you want to use horse-drawn carriages or stuff like that, I do not like to start in that particular time of the game, and I will do the same like in the other city, and I will return to the terminal in here, and I will rename this line. Actually, let me rename the town first. Let me, as I mentioned, I will do from the other series, and I'll call it Liski, L-S-H-K-Y, if I'm not mistaken, Liski. And I will also rename the line L-I-S-K, passengers by road, so I know what's happening roughly. So yeah, so the first two tips are pay attention to the costs and expenses and try and be as efficient as you can, and start with the local buses that will ferry people around the town and it will bring them to the station. The third tip is to do passenger trains between the two towns that we just set up in here. So I'm gonna do just one line for the time being, just one line, and I will try and be as efficient as I can, and as straight as I can without spending too much money. So we got 54,000. If you do on a shorter segments, it will cost you a lot less than if you drag all the way there, because the game will build bridges and tunnels on its own, and it'll kind of give you the most expensive version. Come on, go through the road. Which way is this? So I gotta come to the right hand side one, and I have to spend a bit more money in here in order to get connected to the station, because the station is on a down slope. I will not smooth the terrain as I would normally do in the game. I will not do any of these things. And what I'm gonna do though, I will try and extend this one down here, and I will do a line from here, do a double slip in here, and I will do the line in here that will have the depot. Yes, you guessed it, the rail depot. So one of these, yes, I mean no, I said I will do only the stock ones because that one is too big and it's gonna be probably too expensive. So this is 29,000, and let's get some trains. This is, we got some Soviet, yes, you see 1.67 million. Oh, slow down time. So 1.67 millions, 1 million. What's the difference? They got 600 horsepower, 938. Quite expensive. We got some Soviet carriages in here, very expensive. But in order to do that, we'll come up here, and this does 55 kilometers an hour. The year is 1922, and it was produced in 1968. 1 million, but it's 460,000. So I'm sorry, you'll have to do just fine. And I will get 1, 2, 3 of these. How is the acceleration? Mediocre, as it was expected. And I will set it on a new line, go to Rezev, and then go to Lysky. I know people will say this is not the geography of the Russian Federation or Soviet Union or whatever. I'm just doing these two towns from my mind to be able to pronounce the actual names. RZHV to LASK. Okay, so Rezev to Lysky, good. So yes, because I know these towns are not where they're supposed to be. They're not where they're supposed to be, but as I mentioned before, I'm just doing it so I can pronounce their names. So I'm gonna speed up the time. So this is the third tip. Join the two towns with passenger trains so you can ferry passengers. You will always make money on passengers. Ferrying people around, it's gonna make you money all the time. So we should get going with the next tip. Let me join this in here. See, too much slope. This is gonna be ugly, but for the purpose of this video, it'll do just fine, because I do not want to spend money. So we got 2.91 million in the bank. We can always loan money, but the next one, it is going into cargo. So the fourth tip, it's going to be to buy cheap vehicles. Always buy cheap vehicles. I know I haven't done this in this video, but if you buy cheap vehicles, obviously the cost will be low, and you will spend less money and make more money. But what I have done this, I have kind of prioritized a little bit speed with buses. They will never make money. Buses, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But with the train, I bought kind of cheap one. So yeah, the fourth tip is to go cheap. I know maybe you don't like to be cheap, but it is what it is. And the fifth and the final, and I believe the most important one, is to bring food to the town so you can grow your businesses and attract people into your town, like your main town where you want to start. So I have chose this town. I know it's not reserve, but I have renamed it. So I'm gonna bring food in here. I will not use the stations from the mods. So I will bring food in here. Oh, this is gonna be bad. I mean, for the purpose of this demonstration, I will do this. I will do a terminal. Yes, I will pick a terminal building, terminal station. I will do a smaller one, 160, so it can fit in here, and it's gonna cost me 300,000. No, I gotta be a bit more careful with this. If I go this way, let me do the road first, because I might do it there and it might not connect with the production facility. So let's go back here. You see, that's what I just said. It doesn't connect with the facility, and they will have to be done here. Terrain alignment 300,000, 249,000. It is what it is, unfortunately. And I will do another one in the farm in here. Ooh, this is gonna be tricky because I do not want to disturb the fields. Do not disturb the field. But then again, if I do it like that, he will not connect. 1.24 million. Oh my god, this is gonna be expensive. I do not want to spend 1.24 million on a station. So if I do this, and if I come very close to this, no, I do not want to waste money on replacing that field over there. Let's see. One field will be removed. If I go a bit, yes, no fields removed. So come down here. Oh, I wanted to make one. I'm not gonna do anything about it now. I will leave it there. So I'm gonna come down here. 170,000 is too much money. So 26, 21. At the beginning, I do not care if it's a bumpy ride or whatever. I just want to get it as cheap as I can on the other side where it needs to arrive. So 47,000. Too much slow. Why would you want to do that stupid thing? Why would you want to do that stupid thing? Collision. I will have to delete this. Let me see. Can I not do that? Can I not do that without it do that stupid thing? No. So I have to delete that. 138,000. Yes, I know I have demolished your thing. No. You know what? I will bring you. Oh no, I don't want to spend money. Spend money pointless. Go. 5,000, 10,000, 9,000. If you go that, you'll spend 9,000. And if you go here, 60,000. There's no way I'm gonna spend 60,000 on a road. You see, just what I was saying earlier. If you look, it cost me about 10 grand to come this way in smaller segments than doing 60,000 that way. Good. I'll leave that ugly thing over there because I do not care. So 57,000. We still have 1.87 million in the bank, so we got 72 in here, and I will join it in here. No, it doesn't want to connect. Oh no, oh no you don't. Is as low as it gets, because this town is on a hill probably. So 146,000. That was expensive and it's very ugly. But unfortunately I will have to do another thing in here. 80,000. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I'll rather do this and do another depot in here. I know it's gonna be ugly, but it's all in the purpose of making money. 30,000 was this. 2000. Oh, that's a cheap one, you see. It's not gonna look great, but it's gonna be cheap. And in here I will probably need a powerful locomotive, so I don't have enough money for that one. I will get this one again, and I will have to do this one. It carries livestock. This one does livestock, and this one's cheaper. 1, 2, 3. And I need something for grains. Which one is this one? 300,000, 200,000. Oh my god, I'm not gonna spend 1, 2. So it carries grain and everything. Good. So you will have to go on this new line, go down there to whatever is called transfer, and then come back here to lower reserve. Unpause the game and let them do their thing. Another thing, quickly pause the game before we run out of money. Another thing I will have to do, because normally what I'll do, I will transport in this with trains, but in this instance, being too close, I will have to do vehicles, and they all have to come up here. Oh my god, in the commercial area. But we got this drop-off point. Let's see if it works, because it's a drop-off point for a delivery point for trucks to drop off freight. Cargo cannot be picked up here. That's exactly what I need to drop off freight in there. So I'm gonna get 2 vehicles from my depot. This one is cheap, 65,000, and it costs 10,000 a year. I gotta do this one because it's a bit far, so I'll do one because I ran out of money, and I'll put it on a new line, go there and there, and the production should be on its way. So I'm gonna call this what town is this? Reserve Food, RZH Food by road. And I know we're on minus, but you see we already got 7 people waiting here for the train. What is he bringing? 1 person. He's got 1 person on board, and he's gonna load what, 12? That's more like it. So we're gonna speed up the time now. We're gonna speed up the time, let them do the thing. Let's quickly check this guy. He's gonna be on empty. Oh, maybe not. He's full up now. He's gonna give us a couple of rubles to go with. Ruble. I don't know again. I gotta apologize again, English is not my native tongue, so there's a bump in there. But as I mentioned, one of the tips is to be cheap. I mean, I said cheap vehicles, but kind of applies to everything. Try and build cheap roads, cheap stations, don't do anything like I've done. So we got 230,000. It will start picking up. We got food already here waiting, which is a good thing. And we got 18 people waiting in the station, which was more than previous. And the most important thing is people will want to travel to Reserve because this is where the food is. So they will want to come here. They will want to come here and look. They're already going to the station. We got 22 out of 24. We're nearly running at full capacity. And we are also bringing people into the bus station terminal for the buses to pick up. I'm gonna slow bit time. Come on, give me the bus. So we got 7 out of 8 persons inside the bus. They're all gonna go to the station, and they're all gonna jump in the train. and travel. Where do they want to travel? Let me slow down time. Where do they want to travel? Shop via reserve to Liski. They want to go to Liski to shop. I don't know what can they shop in there. This is where the thing happens. This is carrying 8 out of 8 food. So let me speed up the time. I will need to buy another one of these. I mean, you can borrow money. I do not want to borrow in this episode. I worked a bit more with the bank and I got another mode that helps me build up cash a bit more. But in this episode, it's all gonna be by building everything by our strength. So we got 21 people. The train to Liski will go at full capacity. 25, we are already exceeding the train's capacity. The farm train is gonna go into station now. You can see it. It's gonna bring us some cash, and the passenger train is gonna bring us some cash too. So, boom, we got 79,000. We can afford 80,000. So we can put a pause on the game, and we can afford to buy another one of these vehicles, another Benz, and I will set it on Liski Road food, so we can carry more food. So why do we have 21 passengers in the station? We had 25 earlier, 26. There we go. The train brought us 30,000. Pretty soon I will have to upgrade the train and give him another coach to carry more and more people. So what I will do now, I will pause the game here. I mean, I will not pause the game, I will cut the recording here, and I will come back in a couple of years. So the year is 1923, let's say maybe 5 years, and just leave these lines and maybe tweak them a bit more, get 1 or 2 coaches. You see, we're coming in with the vehicles from the mods, but I will not use them. So yeah, I'll cut the recording here. I'll do a couple of tricks, maybe buy a carriage or 2, couple of more lorries, and I will come back in, let's say, 5-7 years, and I will show you how this will go. So we're back in the year 1930 after about 6 years of playing this setup that I have just done earlier. I haven't done any modification apart from invested a bit of money in some freight coaches or a few vehicles or stuff like that. So after a few years, 6 years, the situation looks like this. So the farm line is bringing us about 406,000. The passenger line is gonna bring us, I'm gonna sort them out for income. The passenger lines is bringing us about 196 at the moment. It's half the year past now, it's June. So this is bringing us about 240,000 now. I think the train just arrived somewhere. And all the other 3 lines are profitable. Again, you can see all it's in green. I haven't done any modification. All the trains are the same. So we got 3 vehicles here. Now let me do the vehicles, and I'll show you the vehicles quickly. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's no need to see the other ones. So just the trains. The trains are one of the biggest money bringing vehicles. So the our biggest and profitable lines. And as you see, we have people waiting in here in the station. I don't know for some reason why I can't click this thing. Let me take the things off. So yeah, this is how the situation starts. You know, you can do the setup. I'm gonna remind you again my 5 tips for starting the Transport Fever game. So going like this, I normally start with the local buses. So I build local buses in the towns I intend to connect. I try to be as cheap as I can with the vehicles and don't do design at the beginning. You know, I mean, look at this line. It's all like crude design and it looks ugly. You can improve on it later. So be as cheap as you can with the buying. I know you want to see fast trains and long trains, but believe me, if you do it this way, you'll have a steady stream of income. Then you can go and borrow some money and invest, knowing that you will have the income to cover it and pay it back, or still build stuff. And if you want to take it the slow way, and you don't want to go to the bank, and you can do this setup that I have just explained. And as you see, in 6 years we got 1.48 million, and I bought I bought I think one passenger coach and a couple of, I think, two grains and two livestock coaches, and you can be cheap. I bought the cheap ones. So the third one is to pay very much attention to cost, expenses, and be as efficient as you can. I mean, as you see, this food line is very short in here. I'm gonna bring up the food by road, and I'm quite lucky. But if it would have been a bit far away, we could have used trains, but then again it would had a bigger profit, because now it does about 28,000, so you would have done a bigger profit. And the fourth tip I have for you is to do passenger trains between the two towns. So I got this one up here in the north and this one up here in the south, so that you can see now why I've done the buses, because there's buses in both. I'm gonna do this one. No, Liski. So I'm gonna do this one. You see, I've done the buses. I don't really care that much if the buses make money, but they're welcome. I know they will feed into the train, and the train will earn a lot of money. Now you see, now I got 1.38 million. I can invest in getting a bigger and a faster locomotive for the passenger train, or a more powerful for the farm one. And the fifth and the final tip is go to the food production chain. Start the food production chain. It is the easiest one you can do. It's the easiest one you can do and the cheapest one, and it will grow your town, and it will attract people to your town. It will definitely make people want to come to your, like, sort of main town, and they will come and use your trains or your buses or whatever you have in there, and it will bring you money on the other side as well. So if you do the food one, it will bring you money by creating food, carrying stuff from the farm to the food processing plant, and then carrying food from the processing plant into the town. But then again, on top of this, it will bring you passengers that will pay for they'll pay your fares, and they will travel with your trains and your buses and your coaches or whatever you have in there. The only reason I start in the 1920s is I do not like the what are they called, the coaches, the horse-drawn coaches and very slow trains. But I'm pretty sure these 5 tips that I have mentioned in here, I'm gonna tell them again. Be cheap buying vehicles, pay attention to cost and expenses, and be as efficient as you can. Do local buses in the 2 towns you want to connect for the start, then do passenger trains between the 2 towns you want to connect. And the last one, and I think the most important one, is go and start the food production. Bring food to your town. It will help it grow, and it will bring people in your town, and once they start traveling, money will start flowing, and everything will be fine, and you will have money in the kitty to invest in your other projects. You see, now for example, I can go in the depot in here. If I can't click it for whatever. I'm just gonna watch this train. I had some issues with this map. It's a custom map. You see, this is ugly. I don't care at the moment because I do not want to spend money on this now. So I will leave it that ugly, and when I will have a bit more money, I will invest more money. So you see, 1.7 million. Let's see, we got 500,000. So almost each year we got 500,000 in income. I can pay the loan. As you can see, I have not borrowed any money. The loan is the 6 million we have started with. I have not worked with loans for this episode. On this matter, now I'm gonna come up with a line again. So on this matter, the year is January, and we're starting with profit. So on this matter, I'm gonna end the episode here. If you follow these 5 tips, you'll have a strong start, and then you'll have money to invest. And these are my 5 tips on how to start Transport Fever and have a steady stream of income. I shall see you next time.